Guys, what is going on? It's Chris Colgan, your favorite Northern Virginia realtor. And I gotta tell you, one of the most common questions I get asked besides, are you single, is, are there any foreclosures for sale in Northern Virginia or the DC area? And I think the reason I'm getting asked this so much is so many people see different TikTok videos or certain things on the internet about foreclosures and how there's all these good deals. So I decided, as an agent here in Northern Virginia and someone who knows real estate really well, I am gonna go through all the resources I know about in this video, and I'm gonna see if there are any foreclosures for sale here in our area of Northern Virginia. If you are thinking about buying a house, text me at the number below, or always email me, info@colganteam.com. I'd love to be your real estate agent of choice. So what exactly is a foreclosure and what's a short sale? Just bear with me for a minute, because I'm gonna explain to you how things work, because a lot of people don't really understand. So foreclosure means the bank actually owns the property now, right? The person didn't make the payments, it went in front of the courthouse, and the bank has taken back over the property. So when you buy a house, you sign this big, huge deed that says if you don't pay the payments, the bank can foreclose on you and take the house back. So that is what happens. So the bank actually owns it. Sometimes you'll see a short sale, and what that means is the homeowner is upside down on their mortgage and they're trying to get the bank to take less than what they owe on it, which can be a long, drawn out process. Now the myth is, a lot of people think just because something is a foreclosure, it automatically screams it's a good deal. What a lot of people don't realize is the banks have resources. So what they do is they hire a local real estate agent like myself to go out, tell them what they think it's worth, then they put some money into the property, they get the utilities turned on, and they try to get it marketed as best as they could, and then they advertise the house for sale. And sometimes they'll give special financing incentives and all that, but very few banks anymore will do the whole thing where they don't even touch it and they just go completely as is. And you know what? It can be really tricky because everyone thinks they're getting a good deal. And I've seen some foreclosures be really overpriced. The other thing that can be a little tricky is sometimes banks will list them as an auction foreclosure. And what that means is they'll start it at a stupid, ridiculously priced, and then everyone will hit agents up and say, hey, this house is $200,000, when really at the end of the day, the house will probably sell for what it's worth, plus an extra auction fee on top of it. So as you can imagine, foreclosures can be very confusing. So I want to see, like, how many are there actually for sale around here in Northern Virginia? And like I said, I pretty much know where they're all listed, because a lot of times, another thing real quick is you'll see them maybe listed in the local paper, which I don't know who reads the newspaper, but a lot of times those auctions get canceled because the banks end up figuring out something new with the homeowner. Maybe they give them a new loan, because it costs a bank a lot of money to foreclose on houses. So they do not like foreclosing on houses because the legal fees alone are something like $50,000. So let's get into the search now that we have gotten completely out of the way. So now I am actually in the Realtor MLS, and just for time's sake, I already set it up. So I'm only doing active, right? So what is active? And I did go a little bit further outside of Northern Virginia. So what foreclosures are actually active on the market, right? So let's do this. Let's also add HUD own. Let's see if that adds any more. Added one more. All right, so now we know we have 10 for sale. That means we have 10 active. So let's take a look. So the most expensive one is going to be in Spotsylvania, $615,000. It says all contracts have to be in final review. So a lot of times what ends up happening is you're not dealing with a traditional seller. You're dealing with someone at the bank called an asset manager. So when you send it over, they review all the offers, and also these foreclosures, they let them sit for a little while to get plenty of offers. So this place has only been on the market for 2 days, started at $615,000. Offers will be entertained after property has been exposed to the MLS for 7 days. So see right off the bat, this bank is going to let this house sit on the market for a while. But you can see this house actually isn't in bad shape. The bank, you know what, just had it clean, but it definitely needs some updating and all that. It does have a barn, actually cool horse barn there, which is really rare. So anyways, out in Spotsylvania, the property, 20 acres. You know what, that's actually that might be a good deal if you're really into horses. Let's go to another one. So now we have Alexandria. This one says this one actually has income limits. So this is maybe like a low income housing or a low income housing development over in Alexandria. So it's listed by the county of Fairfax. They may be a foreclosure on somebody. So $450,000, but again, that has some kind of income limits. They'd have to go through Fairfax and all that. Then we have a condo or a townhome, looks like, and it says totally redone for $398,000 over, and I can't believe this is actually and that's got virtually staged. So this is really nice. foreclosure. Like, unless somebody made a mistake, but I don't know, but it looks like a nice place. Then you got to Fredericksburg, $360,000. So this says all offers must be submitted through HomePath, which means this one is actually owned by Fannie Mae, and they really do not like to sell to investors. They prefer like real home buyers. Just keep that in mind. And then like I said, I went a little further out. 350,000. Looks like it says, it mentions that it has microbial growth, which is a nice term for mold. So whenever you see mold, I'll be honest with you, you want to run fast. And another thing with this foreclosure, did you notice it only has 4 pictures? So what does that tell you? Probably not the nicest inside. 350,000. Then another place out in Alexandria and foreclosure, looks like a some type of like tear down house. So you can see a couple condos here or there, a small house out in Spotsylvania. Now here's one of those tricky ones, 175,000. We all know this is not going to sell for 175,000. Look, auction.com. So really, in all of the MLS, there are only 10 foreclosures for sale. So really not a lot out there. So there's 2 other resources I know about. So let's go check them out and see what other deals we might find. All right, so there's a website called, and you might as well just thank me. You better subscribe for me telling you about this. There's a website called HUDhomestore.gov. This is where the government or Department of Housing and Urban Development lists all their foreclosures for sale. So for the sake of time, I already pulled up Virginia. So I am not really seeing anything in the Northern Virginia area. You got Chesapeake, Powhatan, that's near Richmond, I think. I don't know. All right, here we go, Culpeper, Virginia. So that is really kind of the outskirts of Northern Virginia. So again, they're waiting 11 days. So they're not actually going to even look at offers until May 14th. So this is what the government does, is when they list these foreclosures, like it looks like they've actually cleaned this one and had it put together all right. When they list these foreclosures like this, they typically will give it several weeks out, and then again, they will not take any investors, only people that are gonna live in there. And then 203K eligible, what that means is that's a loan where you can actually borrow the money to get the house fixed up. Very hard to do. Have I done them before? Yes, I have lenders that do them, but they are very hard to do. So look, going on the housing and why can't I talk today? Going on the housing and urban development website, there is only 1 foreclosure all of Northern Virginia for sale. But you know what? So far I found 11. So there's one more resource I know about that lists all the foreclosures. So let's check that out. Again, this is a website called Hubzu, and it's a company that a lot of banks hire to list their foreclosures. This website became really popular. So I pulled up Northern Virginia. They do a lot of auction style, right? So I pulled up actually the state of Virginia and going through. So right now, look, you know what? There's one right here. So there's one in Clifton, Virginia for $630,000. It looks like it's bid up, but look, what ends up happening is this one has a timer on it. It's kind of like eBay. It can get a little addicting, but this thing will probably, get bid up. And look, there's a 5% buyer's premium. So if the house went for $1 million, you got to pay $50,000 in buyer premiums on top of it. And so like this one right here, listed right now for $630,000. And then see how it says 4 minutes left. If someone bids on it within maybe like a 15-minute, they'll probably have a 15-minute rule where it'll just keep going up, and eventually the clock will just keep adding until people stop bidding on it. One thing I want to tell you about this house is though, see where it says do not disturb occupant, no viewings. What does that mean? That means that there is someone living in the property. So if you buy that house, you are going to be responsible for getting them out of a house. And I don't know if you have ever gone through that, but the eviction process can be a nightmare. You definitely want to hire a lawyer and somebody who knows what they're doing. So would I tell somebody that they should buy this? Probably not, but I don't know. If you're an investor, maybe. But as is, cash sale. And then look, let's go look one more. There's one more over in Dumfries area. So there's still plenty of time to go on this auction. And again, do not disturb occupants. So these houses actually have people living in them. And I can tell you one thing I know about these houses is if it's a renter, it is really hard to get them out of the house. It takes a long time, especially if they have a valid lease. So 6 days left. So this one, $432,000. So another foreclosure. And so you know what? That's all I'm seeing, Hampton, Virginia. So you know what? At the end of the day, I think I found us about 13 foreclosures for sale. So there are actually foreclosures for sale in Northern Virginia, but are there plenty of them? No. So what that also does that tell me? There probably isn't a huge housing crash on the way because there's not many foreclosures, there's not many people in default on their property. So you can see that they are out there. So if you are thinking about buying a house, text me at the number below. Also, I help people sell their houses all the time, and I can help you anywhere in the country. Please subscribe to my channel. I have a goal of getting to 10,000 subscribers. I'm not gonna beg you, maybe I will, but you know what? Comment below. And as always, I'll see you at the top or from the top.